Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanachhalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Iham Shri Guroho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sangana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saganalita Shri Shakhan Vitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrinda Vaneshwari Vishapano Sute Devi Pranamami Haripri Pancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhe Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Shankarana Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Shankarana Vedanta Swami Namane Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharani Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Nandeti Grim Yat Kripata Muhammad Deshi Gurum Din Taranam Parmananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Hare Krishna. So thank you all for joining. Today is also the very auspicious day of Shri Ganesh Chaturthi. So we take the opportunity also to offer obeisances to Lord Ganesha, and we'll chant a prayer seeking his blessings so that all obstacles in our path, spiritual and material, are removed. Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurme Deva Sarvakaryeshu. So Ganesh is very kind to those who approach him to remove obstacles. Of course, generally people, when they think of obstacles, they think of obstacles to money and obstacles for sense enjoyment. So all businessmen, they want Shubha Labh. You will see that in all shops, Shubha Labh, Shubha. There is Lakshmi, there is Ganesh. So may money come in, and any obstacles to money, Ganeshji may remove. So, I mean, that is one way in which people in general look at Ganeshji. But Ganeshji, being such a very great personality, directly the son of Lord Shiva, full of spiritual knowledge, he's the one who has written the Mahabharata, and within which the Gita, the first copy of Bhagavad Gita, was written down by Ganeshji. Of course, we are all very grateful. And Ganeshji can not only remove material obstacles, but he can remove all obstacles, even those on the path of the sadhaka. That is the special empowerment that he has been given. Of course, we want our material life also to be without obstacles, but Ganeshji can give much more than that. In our pursuit of Krishna consciousness, there are so many obstacles, isn't it? Our karma, our samskaras, our attachments, our ignorance, and sometimes even our surroundings, our circumstances. So Ganesh is capable of blessing us and helping remove all those obstacles. Rupa Goswami says that even for worshipping Krishna, if we can pray to Ganesha in the beginning to remove the obstacles in our performance of the worship of. Of course, usually our practice is that we worship Guru when we start everything, and because Guru is the representative of all the devatas, Sarva Deva Mayo Guru. So automatically Ganesh and all other devatas are worshipped when the Guru is invoked. But we should never undermine or disrespect this very great person. In fact, as a side topic, and this is discussed later, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Actually, sorry, it's not in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's in Gaur Ganodesh Dipika, I believe. Anyway, I don't remember very clearly. Ganesh ji also participated in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. He appeared as one of the sons of Advaitacharya. So Advaitacharya is a combined incarnation of Sadashiva and Mahavishnu. He came as the son of Shiva, Sadashiva, as the son of Advaitacharya. And he also participated in the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. So obviously Ganesh is, fully conversant in all these topics that we are discussing. And he's capable to bless us. So even amongst the various devatas, if we approach them with the right consciousness, not with kamaistaiste rita jnana, not with just a desire, give me this, give me money, Ganesh, remove my obstacles, Lakshmi, just give me money. Most people go to devatas as gimme, 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 gimme. I mean, not just what to speak of devatas, even whether it is Ram, Krishna, Narayana. So general attitude of people is, the scripture says those who worship these very powerful devatas without material desires, the devatas are very happy to bless them with Krishna consciousness. They guide them to the association of devotees. And this is the experience of many devotees in our movement who were worshipping a particular devata, and they prayed, and by the grace of the devata, they were guided to the association of devotees. Similarly for Lord Shiva also. Those who worship, it is said, those who leave their body in the holy abode of Kashi, Kashi Vishwanath, who is the giver of liberation. How does he give liberation for those who leave their body in the holy Dham of Kashi? It is said, whoever leaves their body in the holy Dham of Kashi at the time of their death, Lord Shiva comes and whispers the name of Ram in their ear, so that they hear the name of Ram as they die and they get liberated. This is mentioned in the scriptures. This is not my opinion or somebody's opinion. Lord Shiva whispers the Ramanam to the ear of the person who leaves his body in Kashi Varanasi. So anyway, so the point is that if we are sincere, we will always be guided to the right path. So we take this opportunity to pray to Ganeshji to be kind to us, that he may remove all obstacles in our path, obstacles in our chanting of the holy name, obstacles in our study of scriptures, obstacles in achieving satsanga, obstacles to follow the rules and principles of bhakti yoga, all kinds of obstacles, both internal and. So having said that, we resume our discussion of Chaitanya Charitamrita. We are, as we mentioned, on a very interesting chapter, very philosophical, but the core of the teachings of Lord Chaitanya is described the very purpose for which Lord Chaitanya has come to this earth. Excuse me. So, Lord Chaitanya and Ramananda Rai are having this very beautiful conversation. Lord Chaitanya has been asking questions and Ramananda Rai has been going deeper and deeper and deeper, and finally he reached the point of Madhurya Ras, love between Radha and Krishna. And then they delved into that ocean of the topic of who is Radha, who is Krishna, what is their love, what is the glory of their love, and who are the topmost devotees, the gopis, and amongst the gopis, who is the topmost devotee, Srimati Radharani. Then the question was asked that this love is said to be the highest of the high. There is nothing more attainable than following in the loving mood of the gopis. But how to attain that kind of love? And the method that was explained is by taking shelter and following the footsteps of the gopis who have attained that kind of love, one can attain that kind of love. There is no other process. Yes, through sadhana, one can purify himself. One can come to the point of liberation, but to specifically achieve the mood that the gopis have, the kind of love that the gopis have, the kind of attachment that the gopis have for Krishna, which is unparalleled, that they are willing to go to hell for eternity, even to give Krishna one moment of happiness. So it is practically inconceivable the kind of nature of their love. We discussed about how their love is so selfless that they are never thinking of enjoying with Krishna. They always want to serve Radharani, to serve Krishna and give Krishna pleasure, because they know that Krishna is most happy in the association of Radharani. But Radharani in return is also so selfless that being pleased by the service of all these gopis, she is always making endeavor to give an opportunity to these gopis to directly associate with Krishna. So this is a transcendental competition. This is the mood of the spiritual world. Not how I will grab Krishna. The whole idea is how I can please Krishna. The whole mood is that of service. So this kind of mood is very, very, very profound, very deep. And this is attained only when, by the grace of such a Ragatmika Bhakta, by following in their footsteps and by taking their shelter, by their blessings, this kind of a mood is awakened within the heart of a purified soul. We are not even purified. For us, the Acharya say, and Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami also mentions, if we hear a lot about Radha and Krishna and the gopis' confidential pastimes, we will think of our materialistic, lustful activities. That is our problem. And that is why, unless we come to a significantly purified stage, one should not delve too deeply into these topics. At the high level, one is aware. Because rather than being absorbed in the mood of service, we'll become absorbed in the idea of journey. But we know that one day, when we come to the point of liberation, this is the direction we want to head. So that was a very, very beautiful discussion. And the discussion culminated, and Lord Chaitanya and Ramananda Rai, and they were so ecstatic. And Lord Chaitanya, Ramananda Rai told Lord Chaitanya, please give me 10 more days of association. Don't go. Please deliver me. And Lord Chaitanya said, what to speak of 10 days? I don't want to be separated from you at all. Because this is the greatest pleasure. For a pure devotee, if you say, do you want to go on a Europe tour, fully sponsored, or you want to sit with another pure devotee and discuss Krishna Katha? You will not think twice to answer the question. because they experience such a relish. And based on their actual experience, they know that that relish is so deep and profound and so deeply satisfying to the heart that all other external scintillations of the senses, whether it is beautiful sights, comfortable homes, tasty food, nice clothes, whatever else it may be, is so superficial and insignificant as compared to what they are experiencing in their heart. So advanced souls never have any difficulty. They don't have to remember scriptures and convince themselves. Sadhakas like us who have not yet developed a sufficient taste, we have to use our sword of knowledge. According to Bhagavad Gita, this is careful. Advanced souls usually do not have this kind of. Anyway, so both of them were glorifying themselves. I mean, glorifying each other, sorry. And they said that this is the topmost. In fact, if one takes the path of Aishwarya, worshipping the Lord through regulative principles, one cannot achieve this kind of prema. Even Lakshmi Devi could not attain this kind of love. Then, towards the end of their conversation, a very interesting section comes where Ramananda Rai, the Lord Chaitanya is asking Ramananda Rai very small questions and he is giving short answers. And that also gives wonderful insights into the nature of a pure devotee and the nature of devotional service also. So we'll quickly go through that list. Almost 4-5 verses there, 6 or 10 verses maybe. The question is, what is the greatest education? Ramananda Rai says, Krishna Bhakti is the greatest education. What is the greatest kirti, reputation? One who is reputed to be a devotee of Krishna, that is the best reputation. That is real fame, being a devotee. Who is the biggest dhani, capitalist? He who is richest in love for Radha and Krishna, because that is the real wealth. What is the greatest pain in this world? What is the greatest pain? Being pierced, being burnt. Ramananda Rai says, the greatest pain I know is separation from a devotee. To be away from the association of devotees, that is the greatest pain. Who is the greatest amongst the liberated persons? One who has Krishna Prem, is Mukta Shiromani, is the best amongst. What is the greatest song? That song which describes the beautiful loving affairs of Radha and Krishna. What is the most auspicious activity? Associating with devotees is the greatest Shreya or auspicious activity. What should be the greatest object of one's remembrance? The Lord's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Lila, the name, form, qualities and pastimes are the greatest object of remembrance. What is the greatest object of meditation? The lotus feet of Radha and Krishna are the greatest object of meditation. What is the best place to live? Rajabhumi, Vrindavan, where Krishna performed his Rasa Lila. It's the greatest place. What is the best topic to hear? Hearing about the beautiful, loving devotional service between Radha and Krishna. Radha Krishna Prema Keli. It's the best. And what is the greatest worshipable object? The holy name of Radha and Krishna. Radha Krishna Nam. Or Prabhupada says, that means the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Then Lord Chaitanya asked Ramananda Rai, what is the destination of a person who wants mukti, who wants to merge into the Lord's effulgence? And what is the destination of those who want sense enjoyment? So Ramananda Rai essentially decries those who want to attain mukti. Mukti here is referring to trying to merge into the Lord's effulgence. See, they are not very intelligent people. because they are making themselves devoid of the opportunity to enjoy the rest of bhakti. Jnana and mukti is dry. There's no rasa. Why there's no rasa? Because there's no activity, there is no relationship, there is no sense of Lord and me. One merges into the Lord's spiritual energy in the form of in Brahman effulgence. There basically one is thoughtless, actionless, just existing. And Ramananda says that is why, because there is no rasa, nothing, it is not actually very pleasurable. In fact, some of these people who are aspiring for this kind of liberation, they achieve a sthavara yoni sometimes. They sometimes become trees. Because it's almost a dead-like position being in the spiritual affairs, because there is no activity which is happening. Prabhupada explains very nicely in the purport. Whether in the Brahman or whether in the body of a tree, in Brahman one is absorbed in the Lord's spiritual energy, and in the tree one is absorbed in the Lord's material energy. But in both states there is no activity, no rasa, nothing. So Ramananda Rai says that this is actually not a worthy destination to choose in terms of trying to attain a Sayujya Mukti with the Lord's effulgence. When the beautiful nectar of Krishna Prema is available, to run after Mukti is like going and eating the bitter neem fruit when beautiful, nice mangoes, ripe mangoes are available. So why to go for something dry and bitter? Those who are extremely attracted to sense enjoyment, if they perform the necessary pious activities, Ramananda says, they go to heavenly planets. In one sense, attaining heavenly planets is better than attaining Sayujya Mukti, because at least one has maintained his individuality, at least still one has the opportunity to associate with devotees and has an opportunity to become a devotee. Because if one merges into Brahman, what is there? There's nothing. One is just there in the Brahma Jyoti, in a state of suspended animation, practically for eternity, for billions and trillions, countless creations, until one feels dissatisfied because of a lack of rasa. But even on the heavenly planets, one has so many opportunities to cross one's path with very advanced, elevated souls. And the devotion of these great souls may rub off on us, and somehow the living entity may become fortunate. Correct? See, we all have also become fortunate somehow because we came into contact with devotees. We may not have done something extraordinary, but we received somehow the mercy of the devotees, because the devotees are eager to give their mercy. But if we were in Brahma Jyoti, there is no Chaitanya Pravaha class happening in Brahma Jyoti. There is no Bhagavatam canto discussion in Brahma Jyoti. So Prabhupada explained also like that, that even though in one sense, even though Brahma Jyoti is a higher platform than going to heavenly planets, losing one's individuality in the Brahma Jyoti is actually a big disaster for the living entity, because it essentially kills any possibility of his attaining devotional service. So like this, they continued their discussion and were going deeper and deeper, and they were relishing. So all night long, they were discussing Krishna Katha. Then in the morning, both of them went back to their respective place of residence. Again, in the next day evening, they both came together. Ramananda at that time got the feet of Lord Chaitanya. He asked Lord Chaitanya, Oh Lord, you have manifested all the truths regarding the highest truths in my heart about devotion and devotional service. Actually, you made me speak everything. You asked questions, but you give me answers. I was only speaking and I was just repeating them. Just like how Narayan gives all Vedic knowledge to Brahma within the heart. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikavai. I'm feeling as if, in the same way you have given all this knowledge to me. But I have one doubt about which I want to ask you. Initially, I saw you as a sannyasi when I first met you. Now, for some reason, I am beginning to see you as Shyama Sundar. Sometimes I see you with a flute. And it appears as if your Shyam Sundar form is covered by a golden effulgence. Sometimes I see your eyes restless, just like Krishna's eyes are restless. So I think you are hiding something about your identity. Please tell me who you really are. So Lord Chaitanya says, oh, Ramananda, Lord Chaitanya is trying to hide his identity. You are such a great devotee. You are seeing Krishna everywhere. Sthavara Jangama. Dekhe na dekhe tara murti sarvatra haya nija ishta devaspurti. That a great devotee doesn't see various moving and immovable objects like an ordinary person sees, but when he sees them actually in their place, he sees Krishna because he is so much in love with Krishna. He sees everything in connection with Krishna. So that is their case with you. Ramananda says, no. You are trying to cover up. Don't give philosophical purport. I know you are hiding something. Please do not conceal your real form from me. I can see that you have actually assumed this kind of an ecstasy of love. Actually, you are Krishna who has assumed the complexion of Radharani and you are tasting your own devotion. So Ramananda figured it out. He figured out what is the real identity of Lord Chaitanya and what is the purpose of Lord Chaitanya. Radhikara bhava kanti kari angikara nijarasa aswadite riyacha avatara. Jaguda karya tomara prema aswadana anusange prema maya kaile tribhuvan. So Lord Chaitanya, realizing that he cannot hide the reality anymore, because that is the nature of a very great devotee. When the devotee has intense love for Krishna, Krishna is also not able to hide his identity. And there are many beautiful pastimes like this. I'm not going to them, otherwise we'll not be able to complete the topic. Finally, Lord Chaitanya becomes merciful because he realizes that he is not able to hide his identity. So Lord Chaitanya becomes very pleased with Ramananda and blesses him the wonderful darshan where he shows himself as a combined incarnation of Radha and Krishna. Suddenly, Ramananda in front of his eyes sees there is the sannyasi, and suddenly the sannyasi becomes Radha and Krishna. He's like overwhelmed. Seeing this very, very beautiful form, it is said Ramananda went into ecstasy and fell unconscious. Lord Chaitanya immediately touched Ramananda and being touched by Lord Chaitanya. Again, Ramananda came back to external consciousness. Ramananda was in a state of being wonderstruck. Lord Chaitanya tells him, I have shown you this very special form. No one has seen this form. This is the premier show for you. I have not given this darshan to anybody else. What you said about me is correct. Actually, I have assumed this fair complexion because Radharani has touched me. Radharani doesn't touch anybody other than Krishna, but because she has touched me, my complexion. But this complexion is what? This complexion is representing her mood. So I have come in her mood. What you said is correct. And you are such a great devotee. I tried so hard to conceal my identity, but I was not able to. great devotees like you can figure out everything because your love is so great. But my request to you is please don't reveal what you know to the world. Because I have come for a particular purpose. Don't go on exposing my real identity. Just keep it to yourself. Also, the way I am, my ecstasy, behaving externally like a madman. What to speak of me? You are also behaving like a madman. Even if you go and tell others, people will laugh at us. This is Krishna. So you need to go and publicize about what you know. Just be happy with your own realization. So for 10 nights after this episode, Ramananda Rai and Lord Chaitanya continue to beautifully discuss together various beautiful pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So as this chapter concludes, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, he starts speaking about this conversation because the philosophical part of the conversation has already completed. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that this talk between Lord Chaitanya and Ramananda Rai, which is on the subject of the conjugal love between Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan, is the topmost of everything. In fact, he says that even though Ramananda Rai and Lord Chaitanya were speaking and speaking for 10 days, they couldn't reach the end of the topic. It's like an endless ocean. Sometimes devotees wonder, if I go to spiritual world, after some time I'll get bored. Can I visit somewhere else? Goloka every day, Krishna, Krishna, and every day Radharani, and what pastime, same thing, day in, day out. Sometimes devotees feel like that. I take a break and, visit Nashik for a while and, spend some time there. Then I'll go back to Goloka, just for a change. Just like, for us, we have this somehow, because our material mind is like that, right? Material mind, no matter what situation, how good it is, after sometimes it will get bored. That is the nature of the mind. But that is not true for spiritual subject matter. And the thing is, Krishna and Krishna's Lila and the nature of the spiritual world is so unlimited that there is no question of having this kind of a problem. So this is the last possible thing. Anyway, so Krishna Lila is an unlimited ocean. It is said like a mine, from digging a mine, how people extract valuable jewels and minerals and gold, like that through discussion of Krishna Katha. Both Lord Chaitanya and Ramananda Rai were picking out precious jewels of realizations of Krishna Katha. So this is what happens when two devotees discuss. Bodhayantascha Mam Nityam. They share their realizations about Krishna and they share so many wonderful things about Krishna. In that way, they inspire and nourish each other's heart and they become both very happy. So we all have to develop this kind of a culture where we relish speaking and discussing about Krishna. We should have so much taste. So these levels are very, very high. Even if 2, 3, 4 hours go and we are discussing with some devotees about Krishna Katha, we should not even realize that 3, 4 hours have passed. So like a great mind, they were having this conversation. Lord Chaitanya, he requested Ramananda Rai. He said, now I am continuing after 10 days are over. I need to continue my South India Yatra. But after I complete the Yatra, I'll be going back to Jagannath Puri. So please, like what I requested you a few days earlier, you also please join me in Jagannath Puri. Now enough of your governor service. Ramananda Rai is so happy. You come there and we will spend the rest of our life discussing Krishna Katha. So after this, next day morning, after those 10 days were over, next day morning, Lord Chaitanya, it is said, he visited the temple of Lord Hanuman and then he continued his tour of South India. Lord Chaitanya's stay in Vidyanagar was so influential because so many devotees, so many people in general would come and take his darshan and take his blessings. It is said practically all the residents of Vidyanagar gave up all other kinds of faith and practices and became devotees by seeing Lord Chaitanya. So Ramananda Rai, of course, when Lord Chaitanya left, Ramananda Rai felt intense separation from the Lord. Then he decided, yes, enough. I am now going to give up all my material business. So that was like the final. That episode which made Ramananda Rai come to the, of course, he is already a Paramahamsa, but at that point, he, being blessed by the Lord and instructed by the Lord, gave up all his material business. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami glorifies this conversation between Ramananda Rai and Lord Chaitanya. He says that actually I have described briefly, but the real, if you go to all the details of all that Lord Chaitanya and Ramananda Rai spoke, it is so vast and so deep that even Ananta Shesha with his thousands of hoods cannot completely describe them. Ramananda Rai is like sugar, Lord Chaitanya is like condensed milk. And when they together discuss the beautiful pastimes of Radha and Krishna, camphor is added to them. So then very, very nice kheer becomes prepared. And one who tastes this kheer, this condensed milk with camphor, by hearing this katha that we are discussing right now, is most fortunate. And what is that great fortune that he achieves? He becomes eager to hear more. How do we know that we are actually making progress by hearing Krishna Katha? When by hearing Krishna Katha, we become eager to hear more. We don't feel enough. आज के लिए half an hour is enough. Tomorrow we will continue. But those who have developed some taste, they are continuously saying more, more, more. Vayam tu na vitrapyam uttama shloka vikrame yat shanvatam rasad jnanam swadu swadu padete. It is so tasty, swadu swadu padete. There is a Falashruti which is announced at the end or towards the end of this chapter by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Please listen to this. There are 14 of you, actually 13 of you, other than myself, or rather 13 connections to be more specific. So you're fortunate amongst those who stayed back to listen to these pastimes. So this is the blessing for you. Falashruti. Those who hear this conversation between Ramananda Rai and Lord Chaitanya with faith and without argument, because these are such transcendental subject matters, you cannot understand them just through material logic. By hearing this, what does one get? One gets, number one, Rasa Tattva Jnana, knowledge of the mellows of Radha and Krishna's pastimes. Second, one gets Prema Bhakti, pure love of God. And third, Chaitanyera Guda Tattva. One becomes able to understand the real truth about Lord Chaitanya, which is also a secret. To understand who Lord Chaitanya is. Lord Chaitanya doesn't bless everyone to understand or have the faith to understand that he is Radha and Krishna combined. So these three blessings are given to one who listens with faith and without argument. And he emphasizes this. That hearing with faith is very, very important, because if one goes on arguing, one cannot understand this subject matter. One will always remain very far away. Because transcendental truths cannot be understood by material logic. Only those who have accepted the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, Advaita Acharya, and made them their life and soul, they can understand these truths. That is why, for revealing these beautiful pastimes, we offer, we offer 10 million obeisances to Ramananda Rai, who revealed these beautiful pastimes and this beautiful spiritual formation. And I am just recording them. Actually, I was not even there. I was not even there to listen to those pastimes. But Swarup Damodar Goswami has noted down all these details into his diary, the Kadacha. And because he gave me this diary, from this diary I've understood all these were the conversations which happened, and this is that I have compiled in Parampara by hearing. So in that way, saying like this, Lord Chaitanya, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami concludes this particular chapters by glorifying the lotus feet of Rupa and Raghunath. So this brings us to the conclusion of the 8th chapter of Madhya Lila. So from here onwards, Lord Chaitanya, now this was quite a philosophical section. We almost took 3 or 4 classes to discuss this. Now here onwards, quite a bit of the immediate discussion is about Lord's travels across South India. There are some very beautiful, interesting pastimes. So this was amongst one of those very, very important conversations. So while we have just given a quick overview, please either read CC or read in detail about this conversation many times from teachings of Lord Chaitanya. This conversation and the 4 other conversations like we mentioned, his conversations with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, his conversations with Rup Goswami, his conversation with Sanatana Goswami, his conversation with Ramananda Rai, and his conversations with Prakashananda Saraswati. These 5 conversations, lot of the philosophical truths regarding the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, they are very beautifully summarized. Okay, so thank you very much. I'm opening up the floor if there is any question or comment. So thank you very much for patiently listening. So this is a good culture, those who are attending. Sometimes, of course, because of our neophyte condition, sometimes even though these topics by nature are so relishable, you may not be able to experience the relish. Sometimes we wonder, oh, why Prabhu is saying like this? You know, is this some over glorification of the topic that because I'm not feeling anything in my heart, not experiencing any mellows, and not experiencing any love. But because you all are giving a faithful ear, and with faith you are attentively listening, Krishna accepts that as an expression of love. So simply by attentively and faithfully listening to Hari Katha, even though one may not find it in the initial days so attractive, by doing so, Krishna will become pleased with us, cleanse our hearts, that our natural attraction to hear Krishna Katha will arise in due course. And those who have been doing this sincerely, they can vouch for this, that over time, their attraction for hearing Krishna Katha, the taste they relish in hearing Krishna Katha, continuously went on increasing. And that is the proof that the process is working. Because in material life, the exact opposite thing happens. Things are tasty in the beginning, and when you continue to have them again and again and again, it becomes pale and distasteful. Isn't it? First time you hear a new song, so nice, it's a nice beat. First time it sounds very nice. Second time it sounds also good. After a few days, okay. After 2 weeks, you already want to switch to something else. Then once in a while you hear it, then you will remember the old days, and that's all okay. But we cannot go on relishing something material, no matter how wonderful it is. But spiritual life is different. There is an unendingly increasing relish in spiritual subject matters. But when we are in a contaminated state of consciousness, initially, that which is actually sweet tastes bitter. Because we are affected by the jaundice of avidya. Remember, we had this discussion earlier in Chaitanya Charitamrita itself. Those who are affected by the jaundice of avidya, because when you have jaundice, what happens? Even though you drink sugarcane juice, it tastes bitter. You say, hey, this is not sugarcane juice, this is bitter. No, this is sugarcane juice. No, it is bitter. How can sugarcane juice be bitter? Problem is not in the sugarcane juice. The sugarcane juice is sweet. But because of jaundice, your tongue, anything you take will taste bitter. But the cure for jaundice is to continue to drink sugarcane juice. And gradually, as one continues to drink the sugarcane juice, through the effect of the medicine of the sugarcane juice, gradually the jaundice goes away. And as the jaundice slowly starts going, the sweet taste of the sugarcane juice can be relished by the tongue. When the jaundice entirely goes away, one can relish the full taste, the sweet taste. So that is why the process for us, whether it is chanting the holy names or better it is hearing the scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, any form of Hari Katha, one should with enthusiasm and faith and with great eagerness continue to hear in the association of devotees in a attitude, with an attitude of service. Then very rapidly the heart will get purified and one's taste for hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord will continually increase to the point that there will never be a time that no matter how much you discuss, you will feel that you are bored. So when one starts experiencing like this, then one can understand that the Lord is blessing us by some attraction for His name and for His katha. Of course, in my own humble assessment, all of you, to some extent, have already been blessed in that regard, undoubtedly. Because otherwise, you wouldn't keep coming and hearing this week after week after week. So that is one proof that you already have to some extent that blessing. But we can develop this more and more and more. The very fact that you are coming and listening means you already have received a great amount of blessing. Because it is not possible for an ordinary person to continue to faithfully listen like this. It is impossible. So, of course, all of you are already very fortunate. But we want to develop our good fortune to the point that we can start experiencing what we are reading in these books. That kind of experience we want. We don't want to be satisfied with this level. This is a good beginning. We want to experience the real sweet taste of Krishna's name, Krishna's katha that we are hearing about in the Gita, Bhagavad and Chaitanya Charitamrita. And for that, one should faithfully continue to follow the process of Krishna consciousness. Be very careful to not commit offenses against the devotees, against the holy name. And in that way, by chanting the holy name and avoiding offenses and remaining in the association of devotees, one will be able to make very wonderful spiritual progress. Okay. So thank you all very much. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki. So before I end, On Saturday, we will continue our discussion on the hellish planets, the remaining part. So we'll be concluding the chapter in the next class. So we'll be concluding not only the chapter, we'll be concluding the cosmology section, we'll be concluding the whole 5th canto. So if you have any questions relating to anything that we have discussed on cosmology, we will have some time. We'll probably finish the chapter a little earlier. We'll have some time. Let's see if we want to discuss something. If you have any questions which are in your mind, but you have not asked or you didn't get time to ask, we can bring it up in the next class. And I will try to answer. Obviously, I don't know. Yeah. So, Saturday is Radhashtami. Thank you, Amit. Very good point. Okay. So I will confirm. Thank you, Amit. That for reminding me. So Saturday 23rd is Radhashtami. Let me check if there's an evening program. Obviously, we will not be able to have the class in the evening, but I will let you know. But if not this Saturday, then obviously the next Saturday. So please do observe Radhashtami, fasting till noon on Saturday. Very, very auspicious festival. And in your local temple. Usually, traditionally, the festival is in the afternoon and breaks with a noon feast. But obviously, for convenience of devotees, oftentimes temples may hold the festival in the evening. So check with your local temple, where is this, what time is the celebration, and you can join accordingly. So closer to the date, I will confirm whether we have the Saturday class or not. Then we'll take it from there. Thank you very much. Srimati Radharani ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhakta. Thank you. And Ganesh ji ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.